Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a reading for my winner. If you were on yesterday and I was supposed to be on at 3 o'clock, well, sorry, we're in hurricane season down here. And today you would never know it. The sun is shining, the birds are tweeting away out there. Meanwhile, we've had trees come down, we've had just craziness. And that's kind of like the mood lately, right? We never know. And kind of like maybe you're tapped into someone that's kind of has a mood like that. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're not, sometimes it's, and when you have a soulmate that's like that, I feel like, you can feel their energy and that actually dictates your energy. Now, I don't know why. Again, I felt the need to say that, but maybe we'll see why in the readings. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. So I look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes. Why? Because there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on what you manifest. So they're empowering. It's like no one can predict your future. You predict your future. I mean, we can predict your future, but again, if you tune into a reader, what you'll notice is that the reading may be always the same theme, but it variates a little bit. And it variates a little bit due to changing of behaviorisms. So again, you have the power to shape shift your life. And why would you want to do that? Well, living in karmic cycles of limitation, fear. I mean, that's what we're actually living. Everybody on the planet right now is kind of dealing with their own spiritual issues, and then collectively we're dealing with the issues. And that's why everything looks so bad on the outside, because of how people are feeling on the inside. So you can actually heal yourself to create your heaven on earth. That's right, you can, but you got to give and receive of love, and that's by becoming love. So when we have a soulmate, you might say, well, yeah, I feel like they're love, but they don't act like that. Well, Spirit says you're attracting what you need so that you can become aware, so you can integrate the spiritual lesson and then transmute that negative energy. Otherwise, if you don't fully heal, you're going to continue to attract the same. So that means, yes, transmutation is important. You have to do something with the negative energy, even when the relationship ends. Otherwise, you don't see yourself differently. You're conscious, your spirit knows this. And your spirit knows when you don't feel good. We can fake it. And people that fake it, they wear masks, they create personas. So we look at those on this channel. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video. But I'm going to tell you right now, we are in hurricane season. So it's anything goes. It's like sometimes we have to leave. Sometimes the flooding gets bad. I live on a hill, so that, thank God, doesn't happen to me. Sometimes, but at a drop of a hat. And that's only until I would say November. But September is a really bad month. All right. So if I have to reschedule, I would never not show up is what I'm trying to get at. All right. Looking for the deck of cards. Here it is right in front of my face. Isn't that always the way, right? Right in front of your face. All right. Want to enter into winning a free reading? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. Word of the video is always the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. And the word is impatient. Impatient. I feel like emotions are running high between you and this person that you're connected to, because no one's moving. And it's like, and I feel like you both have tried to walk away, but you're like, I can't. I still like always, it's like I'll go and meet other people and my mind may drift to be like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to be with that person. But then, I compare and I can't help but to compare. So I feel like you're connected to someone that's tried to walk away from you several times and they can't. See, they're a real control freak. And them not having control because you took the control away. I feel like every day that goes by that you don't talk to them, I know what they're showing you. They're creating a facade, acting like they don't care. But it's again, every day, trust me, this person is thinking almost there to the point that it's annoying them because they feel like they can't move forward. They feel like they can't just move on. And I feel like they want to move on because there's other factors in their life that they're not happy with. So it's again, you're not acting the same way, they don't have control, and they're obsessed because again, person that's not healed, there's obsession where they think about it, and that creates a lot of emotions. So this is why I said I feel like some days somebody is really calm, like the sun's shining, tweeting birds and flowers out, and everyone's okay. And then the next day, like thunderstorms, trees down, tornadoes, just craziness. So people are starting to look at this person like they're a little like out of hand. And it's because things need to change for them. They've suppressed themselves. Now, I don't know why I got all that, but we're going to take a peek and see. All right. When you're with this person, we always like to see what they did, because we want to know why they did what they did, but we want to know what they did. And so again, consumed. So again, this person's not like actually right now, I feel like they're consumed. They see that's the thing, the table's turned. This person expected you to be consumed with them because you're nice, you're a humble person. You're and unfortunately, because you're a nice person, and I need this as a little side note, because I feel like you get people that don't respect you and you don't know why you don't have people respect you. And it's because you're too nice. You care too much about how a person feels, how a person, like, whether they're comfortable. And you may say, well, that's a little fucked up. Like I'm getting like penalized for that. And spirit says there's a lot of hours in the day. And if your hours are not put on growing you, on having a love affair with your life that is exciting, that you're full of passion, you're excited, you don't know where it's going, you don't have time for just any schmobo to come into your house, to be around, to care so much. And it's not that you'd be rude, you'd be balanced. You'd be balanced. It's like, I like you, but is it, what am I getting in return? Relationships are give and receive. We live by spiritual law to give and receive. It's like, otherwise you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and you're not receiving, and you live that way already. So spirit says we got to take that. That's a side note. I have to do that because spirit says that's an ethical reading. Otherwise you're not going to know why. And spirit says you need to change that because you want people to respect you. They'll like you. It's like, understand, but you want people to respect you first. Then they like you. Because anyone can be liked, but then they're not valued. And there's a little bit of a karmic theme there. And so this person saw that and they expected you to be consumed with them because, again, so much thought, so much emotion, right? Consumed. Well, now they're consumed with you. See that? See how God gave that person a bitch slap right there? It was like, oh, is this the game that we're playing? Okay, see, when you do the right thing, this person is suffering. They're just suffering in silence. And it's because I feel like you're giving them nothing. So what they're doing is that they're giving a lot of time, a lot of energy to insignificant people that actually don't give them. So I feel like this person actually grew up that way where they were always the giver, that they were always the doer, and they're tired of being the doer and the giver and the one that makes life work and the one that's carrying everyone because it doesn't allow them freedom of expression. It doesn't allow them to find their own unique individuality. And here you are, somebody that's bubbly, they perceive as bubbly, seem as friendly, has a lot of friends, having a good time in life. And they're a little bit jealous. They're a little bit jealous because they don't know how to actually be in that type of relationship. And part of it is because they're so consumed with their ego and having what things they want things to look like, that it's actually cutting them off from having the intimacy. Where again, that's what I said, superior. I want to seem like I'm superior by, again, look at the nice things that I have, the nice car that I'm driving, see the nice clothes that I'm wearing, you know, that this is, I'm busy, but that what you know is you have all that, but you don't have a life. You don't have a life. Where I think when you first met this person, they tricked you into thinking they had a life because of what they have. No, this person doesn't have a life. They have things, they hide behind things, is what I feel, which means I don't feel good about myself. So I'm going to elevate myself, which, by the way, is the second chakra in balance. It's person has created the persona. They don't like who they are, but they don't know who they are. But they're basing it on, well, I'm basing it on the fact that relationships don't work out for me. Relationships don't work out for you because you're empty. There's nothing there. You have to create yourself. And you may be like, then why am I getting them? And spirit may say, well, there's a lot of hours in the day. You're not, again, exactly, your cup isn't exactly overflowing. You're not supposed to give anybody anything from your damn cup. You give the overflow from your cup. That's how you stay safe. You're giving like half your cup away. And some of you are giving your entire cup away because you get tricked into doing it, manipulated into doing it. No one asks. They play games. They can't do that if you're strong within yourself. So it's not that you're not a nice person and that you're not deserving of a good relationship, but God says, me first. I'm a jealous God. That's do you first. Because I live inside of you as spirit, as unconditional love. I'm the supernatural part of you that you have to honor. And when you don't, you break this first spiritual law, and that's abandonment of self. So you're going to attract someone on a low vibration, someone that, again, they don't know who they are, someone that's living in fear, living by their addictions, because again, that's when we don't know who we are, we feel empty. If there's actually a feeling, because we're all here, we all have purpose. So Spirit's saying, you want to know why you attracted this person. I wouldn't be giving you this reading. Because it's like, why am I stuck in this? It's like you're stuck in it because of that. And what it is that this person gives you a lot of anxiety because you don't trust them. And you wouldn't trust someone that isn't, that wants to elevate, who they are and not let you get close to them, because obviously if you get close, the jig is up, right? Then you're going to see there's nothing behind the green curtain except for a bald man. That's not Oz. That's a bald man, like that's pulling strings. I don't want that. I don't want that. This person knows that. It's like, and you're like, understand it's because of the brokenness that had occurred most likely in their childhood, that they didn't go out and create their life. So you might say, well, then what the hell is the point for me? I don't care about broken people, because you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. So there's things there. Again, this person wanted you to be submissive. Again, submissive, superior, that not allowing you to have your voice, all things that were done to this person, by the way, because they do have that energy, but it's almost like they grew up in an environment that one person had all the power, the other person didn't. And they said, well, I'm not going to be like that parent. I'm going to be like this person. So they overcompensate. And they created their life by purchasing things and try to emulate people instead of becoming themselves. And they didn't become themselves, I feel like, because there must have been addiction here. Because whenever person feels really bad about themselves, again, they're going to do outside things to get that serotonin hit. That's how we know that we have spiritual blocks. You know, when you have a spiritual block, it's like, where are you going shopping again, Mary? It's like, yeah, well, there's a good sale. It's like before you know it, it's like some people eat, some people have sex, some people, again, and this is why this person hasn't created. They look for the answer outside of themselves. The kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And Spirit says this person is living by their addictions. They're lower. That's why they're easily manipulated from the people that are closest to them. So they have intimacy issues. And now you're expecting them to be able to give you intimacy. It's like, no, there's a bold man behind the green curtain. That's not us. It's like this person wanted you to perceive that they're us because it feels so good. It feels so good to have someone think of me like that, to have that. It's like when meanwhile you're like, I like it. Like, I thought everybody likes you, like, again, because you're good looking. It's like, again, that's perception. You see in them what they don't see. That's what soulmates do. That's what, again, it's unconditional love. I see that. I see who the divine made. I see who you were before you were born into a family and society that created all that. It's like, but I see who you are, the original state. And this person sees you too, but it's scary to go deep, especially when there's, like I said, there's a mess underneath that blanket. You know what I mean? It's like it's covered. It looks good from the outside because this person works very hard to make sure that it does, because they feel very flawed. And that's, again, broken. Where no one's broken. It's, again, so instead, I would rather make it look like you were just like a conquest, like I'd rather look like a player than a loser. And so, again, what do we see here? It's all or nothing. That's how you know that's there's going to be an imbalance. Where's the balance? It's like relationships are something that happen over time. Intimacy is something that happen over time. It's like, problem is that when you're being dutiful to the people that are closest to you, there's an emotional connection that this person normally doesn't have emotional connections. They have an emotional connection to you. That's why they can't walk away. They've tried to walk away. But the difference is one's divine, one's not. And but even though this person didn't treat you as divine, it's because they're not coming from that level of consciousness. It's that they're coming from a survival state of I have to, because shame, guilt, victimization, betrayal, all these lower energies, lower consciousness, that's what, again, is the spiritual block. And that makes a person sick over time. It makes them, again, walk from a certain perception. And this person overcompensates where, no, I'd rather be the player. I'm going to act like I don't care. I'm going to shut that part of myself off. I'm not going to care. It's like, again, but now this person feels guilty because that's not really who they are. See, if they didn't have a connection to you, they wouldn't feel guilty. So they're pissed that they feel guilty because it's like, this wasn't supposed to happen. And Spirit says, oh, yeah, fuckhead. It's like, you're not the one that's in charge. You're not in charge. I don't know what you're doing over there. You're recreating your childhood trauma all over again. Only this time you're going to be that person that overcompensates, which you're not capable of even being that person, because the person wouldn't feel guilty. It's like a person wouldn't be like forced to look. I feel like the people around this person for a long time that they're dutiful to, like I said, we're friends, but what happens when you overgive to a friend? It becomes expected. And again, this person's tired of carrying everybody. And here you are flitting around, having a life. And this person's like watching from the outside in, whether it's through social media, whether it's talking to friends. Trust me, they know. It's, again, they're too obsessive not to know. I mean, and when you're all blocked up, it becomes an addiction. So that's what this person doesn't realize. They're manifesting you, and it's because they're getting impatient. So they're going to wind up breaking. You're not going to wind up breaking because you're going to be like, I don't care. I'm having life. I'm flitting around. Remember, it's like, so this person is like getting more and more anxiety because they know that they're going to lose you. Well, I might as well read the first one too. I don't know why I did that. Okay, our love is eternal. It exists in every dimension and cannot be lost. And believe me, this person has tried. That's the whole thing. It's like, and what they realize is like, we have a connection. Like, I can't control this. I have tried to control it. It's like, but I don't know what to do with it, is what, again, this person wouldn't know. They're not emotionally intelligent, not even enough for themselves. We need to wait for divine timing. Timing is healing our wounds and creating the perfect conditions for our reunion. So maybe this is a twin flame connection, they feel like. And it's because, so you might be like, well, it looks like a fucking shit show. It's like, and it is because that person's really wounded, but that might mean that you're very wounded too. That you grew up in a similar environment doesn't mean that you haven't done healing. It doesn't mean that you're not more evolved, but you have carried those wounds and they haven't been fully transmuted yet. Transmutation is actually in the relationship, and I'm handling things differently and I'm getting a different result. You might be like, yeah, but this person's impossible. So then you train that person by walking away, dating other people, throwing yourself in life like what you're doing now. That's why this person feels guilty. That's why this person has anxiety. That's why this person is realizing like this isn't a game. Time is actually running out. I haven't been there. I've been hiding behind my material. I've been not living a life. There goes my life. It's like, and they think of life because it's like I can see myself. But it took a long time to get here. It's like we are coming into union, and I feel like because this person feels your unconditional love. And they see you as that. Now you might be like, well, fuck you, it's off the menu now. But this person still will, again, feels like you're my person. So they're ready to come back now, regardless of whether you're ready or not. And most likely you'll probably be pissed off by the timing because it's not your timing, it's divine timing, meaning healing has to be done for you, for this person. Is again integration. The twin flame connection is that. It's like the wounded, the brokenness of, well, I've been working on myself, you know, and that's really what it is. I'm struggling with codependency. See, it's again, so I told you addiction is there. I'm afraid to let go of old coping mechanisms. And this person knows that if they're with you, that it's again, you'd make them stop drinking or doing other things. And so they don't know, they don't think that they can do it, which again, they have a problem. And that's what I said earlier. I said you would know that this person would have addictions at this point. And it's because they're shadows when they're broken. It's like, you know that because of how they treated you. You know that by their character. Spirit says at this point, it doesn't mean a lot of times that when it's a connection like this, that you should even be with them. Because again, separation, you're doing healing work, you're raising your vibration. This person is actually doing the healing work too. That's why they're humble to come back when they feel is divine time. And no one knows when divine time is because it's random. It's like when spirit feels that you've done enough work. When you're at the level that this person is at least going to respect you. And we have to step into our divine counterpart. That's what we have to, we're not stepping into our counterpart. We have to step into our divine self to attract that divine self. That's what the twin flame relationship, it's not there yet, meaning you're both not there yet. You might be like, well, I'm looking at everything that this person's doing. Where spirit says, well, you shouldn't be. You should be looking at yourself, because that's at this point, because if that's really who you desire, and you know that it's already going to work out, and you know that the twin flame relationship is your other half, there's no such thing as an other half of a fucking person. You're a whole person. You're blocked up where this person has gifts, and this person has gifts where you're all blocked up. So integration is needs to be done in order for transmutation to happen. Otherwise, you didn't learn the spiritual lesson. You have to embody the spiritual lesson. The whole twin flame journey is that. It's that you're embodying new consciousnesses that you weren't taught. So we see a lot of childhood trauma here, that this person wouldn't have all these wounds. Again, where to the point that they're strategizing their life, to the point that they're not living their life, they're hiding behind shit and have addictions and pretending to be someone that they're not. So we know that. It's like, but you might say, but I'm not as broken. And spirit says, I don't look at a lot or a little. Light goes to light. There's only two energies, love and fear. So you'll learn more if you'll be like, well, that's really out of whack that person's coming to me and handing me nothing. Thing is, I feel like some of you are getting triggered, and that triggering is, again, making you feel like it's something having to do with you because of this person's, drinking. And understand that the person then is fluctuating between anxiety, depression. That's how they get, again, the physical issue, which is another reason why they drink, because it doesn't feel good. I'm conflicted about whether I have what it takes to be your partner. I don't think I'm good enough. And they're not. And that's what Spirit says. It says, you're not. And it's a good thing that you know that you're not. Because if you really want it, you're going to step into it. And so again, this is a very natural part of the healing process. I have to look at myself. I have to look at my coping mechanisms. Well, like I drink too much. I do this too much. I do that. You're not there. You're not going to put up with it. I want you, but you're making it difficult. And you're making it difficult because I really have to go underneath that blanket. And underneath that blanket is like, it's like a hoarder's house. Imagine. And now you're looking for like a one piece of paper in like a hoarder's house. It's like this person's like, oh my God, it's like, it's a lot. And they're not emotionally intelligent when they'd rather avoid to actually feel. So again, the logical analytical mind, which is what we saw, how they strategized their whole life. So it's, oh my God, like, look at my life. It's like, I can't let you see that when I see that your life is this way. Like, you live by your truth. You don't give all your time away. You respect yourself. Like, you didn't put, this person actually does respect you. I want to talk to you, but I'm not sure I'm ready to share everything and give you the answers that you deserve, because it's embarrassing, obviously. What am I going to say? I'm the bald man behind the green curtain, No one wants that. It's like, and understand, this person really thinks that they can't have an average life because they feel inadequate. So everything has to be grande. They can't have just maybe one car. They have 3 cars. It's, again, I really want to create the persona for you of how I want you to perceive me. And when they met you, you were not like that. You were a very humble person. It's, again, not wearing all name brand. It wasn't all about that. But your personality, you created your life. You're different, and you're not afraid to be different. You don't follow the crowd. So again, this person is they're on with that. where they're like, you'd never be with a person like me. Not really. I wouldn't be with a person like me. That's this person is like, don't join the club that would have you as a member. That's like this person. Then they don't like themselves. And that's the problem. When they keep digging and keep digging and keep digging and keep digging, I don't like myself. Our inner children need to come first, right? So there it is. Inner child, the alternate. Our inner child needs to come first. So it's that's the wounds that I said. It's like that when you don't heal, because you grow up in an environment, you're going to continue to live the same karmic themes. So that's how this person cubbyholed themselves into surrounding themselves with certain people that they wound up becoming very, like dutiful to, like overgiving to the point that they were like a martyr, like self-sacrificing and carrying everyone because emotionally they were getting back. Well, those people were feeding that person's ego, but again, there's no depth. There's nothing there, and that's what this person feels empty. And again, made them look at it. So what are they going to do? Are they going to do anything now that we see? But I think that what they're in a state of healing right now, and that's waiting for divine timing. Spirit just said, Spirit says, DJ, let's listen. They're in a place of healing. And when I want to know, like, what are they? We want to know something else. Like, I guess, like, what are they going to do? And Spirit says, when they're ready, they'll take quick action. And because they're passionate, again, which is obvious with the twin flame relationship, okay, passionate. So, and they're not gonna hold back because they already are getting impatient. Spirit's saying so, but Spirit's saying, well, they're gonna feel like they're dying by the time that they come back. It's gonna take a long time, and you most likely will be like, fuck you. like how dare you come back at this late time and not the correct way. As Spirit says compassion, forgiveness, all the levels of consciousness that need to be integrated that you were not taught in your childhood. And it's like that if this is your twin flame, you already know. Well, it's like I love this person unconditionally. I tried to walk away. I can't walk away. And Spirit says, well, it's again, then you're going to figure out how to communicate. And you're going to try again, allow and teach this person that they can feel safe to be around you because they don't feel safe to be themselves. And again, that's because that's why they do everything for everybody else. That's why they created this persona. If you really want this person, and Spirit says, I give you free will, you choose, but understand you'll always like wonder if you don't be with this person because it is a divine union, one to help you both. But this is the very beginning of this connection where this person is going to be having that aha moment of who you are. And, because they can't walk away. And really, they need to break away from that life that they have. It's empty. And like, we can't live an empty life. That's not why we're here. We're here to give and receive of love, not to be a martyr for people. Because then we'll wind up being resentful, which is where this person's at. That's why they drink. They're depressed. They don't, I don't see a way out. I don't have a way out. I don't know how to get out. But it's again, they have to do it. And not by you coming in and doing it for them either. They have to do it. And that's what you need to see for you too, that they would do it. And it's like, but understand it's scary. Very scary for this person because it's like they have to change their life. They have to open up their heart. It's like this person has closed their heart. And so again, I'm afraid you're going to reject me. I'm afraid that I'm not good enough. And then God says, okay, then stay like that for a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be like, And then it says, universe, turn the heat up a little bit more. And then the heat goes up a little bit more, and then your person's even more uncomfortable, and they're like, oh, I don't have any control. Oh my God, it's every day feels like an hour. And eventually this person breaks. And it's because the ego has to come down, but if they don't want it to come down, that is a protective mechanism. Everything that this person did. So you'd be like, well, fuck them. They took so long to come back. And spirit says, oh, look at all that anger that's coming out in you. It's like, what do you think that means? And you're like, that this person's fucked up. And spirit says, but why would you get so irritated? It's like, because I love that person, and they treated me like shit. And spirit says, did you allow them to treat you like shit? It's like, let's take a look at your inner child wounds. Let's see why you attracted this person. Because really, there needs to be some awareness for there to be integration and transmutation. And so you, again, staying angry and being like, no, I'm getting a little impatient too, because I've been sitting around like waiting for you to like do the right thing, and you do always do the wrong thing. You always pick the wrong fucking door. It's like, if it's curtain number 3, you got to pick curtain number 2. It's always like you never pick the right one. You never. And spirit's saying, again, that's a reflection of something that, again, that's deeper. And it's like, it's frustrating, and that's why your brain is like, I just want to like end it. And spirit says, oh, though, I'm going to make sure that this person comes back right when you're over it. Like, because you'll be pissed off, like, but spirit will say, I'm watching like the way that you react here, because your karma will be based on it. First card out, play. Second card, disassociation. We pick 6. Third card out, belittled. Fourth card out, isolation. Fifth card out, gifts. And the last card out is support. So I feel as if, disassociation happens from trauma in childhood, and it's emotionally we've detached from ourselves. So we know what happened, but it's almost like we watched it happen. So there was deep-seated trauma, and it was because over support that you didn't have support. And know that you didn't have support is because of isolation, is that every time there was a difficult situation for you, you had to go through it alone. So that's something that is a karmic theme that plays out within your life. It's like, I always am alone. Like, I always give to people. I'm always there in their time of need, but no one's ever there for me in my time of need. And again, so that's how we know that there's a wound there. That's the karmic theme. And spirit says, because you were, belittled, so you didn't really ask. And that's emotional, right? When someone like makes you feel bad, they belittle you. Well, spirit says, well, that trauma made you, again, detach and disassociate. That made you very psychic, again, and you've always had gifts, creative gifts. And so I feel as like during this time of separation, you went out and you played. And so that wasn't something that you were allowed to do really as a child, to be free, to be a free thinker. You can't do that if you're afraid that you're going to get belittled. It's, again, a parent gets angry. Why are you doing that? You're going to do that now? Really? That's what you're going to join? That's what you look like? So again, all the time, the question, your mind can't be in 2 places at one time. A child can't deal with that. They feel like they're not supported. I can't be transparent with my parent. I have to lie. I have to, because there's consequences. That's why. So it's, again, person disassociates, But again, they go through everything alone. And what we see here is that this person is not there for you, not because they don't want to be. They actually do. It's that they're so unhealed. And really, what Spirit is saying is, I think, the way that you were raised, again, it's not what you think, that your parent like hated you or was like angry, like didn't like you, or again, it's the way that they were raised. They were not healed. It was the way that, again, that was family karma. So this was kind of like you relived that, where again, you obviously needed to go through things by yourself. This person wasn't there. They're too busy up in their own mind. But then Spirit says, you really don't need anyone. And you are supported because you have friends and it's just not the support that you expected. You would have expected this person that's a twin flame to come in and give you support and be there. And you're like, and it's never the person that I want. And Spirit says, because it's not the way that you think that love needs to be. That love, there is no expectation. There is no ownership. You have in your mind what it needs to look like. It's like everybody loves differently. So how you get over it is that you love yourself enough and you give yourself the support. And you give yourself the support by integrating the spiritual lesson where you're not disassociated. You again find your passions in life, which you did. You went out and you played. And that's where you really found your gifts. So you were able to, again, see yourself differently. And then you saw that you have support. You don't have to be isolated because that support came through playing, through your friends, through, again, your interests, through your hobbies, that you needed to create a life because you actually had the same imbalance that this person did. You went to work, you had a few friends, and then there was this person. And that's why you wanted this person to be there for you. And that's why Spirit said, no dice. And you said, well, why? And Spirit says, because codependency, trauma bond relationship, for those reasons. And on some level, you've done healing. You said you didn't want that. You said that you didn't want that. So Spirit always knows what your heart really desires. So I'm not going to bring you people that you would get into a codependent relationship. I would give you someone that's broken, that plays games, that does all the things that this person did to give you the same result, but without actually being stuck in one of those relationships. Because again, that would have did more damage. Where now this person is forcing them to heal. It's forcing them to change. It's forcing them, even if you're like, well, by the time they come back, I don't want them. Spirit says, well, then you don't take them, and that would be their karma. But you would always wonder, because there is unconditional love there. There would just be a thing of, I don't like the way that they treated me, and I don't trust you anymore. And I can't see you any differently anymore. And but you would say, and I'm really sorry about it because I did love you. I do love you, but it's like, I just can't be in that type of relationship. And again, that would be the honest answer, and that would be their karma. And Spirit says, I don't care whether you're with them or not, because the spiritual lesson is learned. This person will never fuck up that way ever again. You have taught them that they need to have a life, that they need to not get into codependent relationships, that's all that they're in is a codependent relationship, to the point that they don't have a life, that they created a life through buying shit instead of becoming themselves. So it's, again, Spirit says, I don't care. The job is done. And you're like, well, from me? And Spirit says, and the job is done for you too, because you have support. It's, again, and you get to see yourself differently because you went out and played. You found more hobbies, interests, connected to more people. You got more of a life. That helps. The disassociation and the feeling of detachment, feeling of not connecting to the world, your body, which is what happens when there's disassociation, because again, that comes from detachment trauma, of emotional trauma, of always being belittled and bullied. Again, children see belittled by parents as bullying. So I don't feel safe in the world. So Spirit says that's a root chakra imbalance. So you had to again get into your body and go out and play to come find yourself, to connect to different people, to find that support. Because, uh, you know, people grow and they get older and they die. And so unless you're going out and playing, you're not meeting people. And then when you go through rough times, you'll always have to isolate. And that's recreating the childhood trauma where Spirit says, nah, we don't do things differently. Support comes now as an adult through, again, the people that you interact with, the people that you form relationships with. And unless you have a life other than, work and home, well, and those few friends, that don't do anything, so they're not really any happy, they're not contributing to your life. Well, it's seen as an imbalance. And that's why that played out. So they're coming back, and I think that you're not really going to know until that person comes back. And it's because it depends on the day. And that's, again, sunshine some days and tornadoes other days. And it's because I think about what they did. I think about how they had it, and Spirit says, well, you're looking at it like they did that to you. They did that because they're wounded. It's like this person was not an emperor. They were a page. It's like, and that's the thing. You saw the divinity in them because there's unconditional love there. And it's all about trust. I trust life and my strength. Each moment guides me to the light. Everything on my path is placed there for my growth. So yes, this person is, again, helping you learn how to trust yourself. Because how do we create strength? Not through creating things outside. That's what this person did. They bought things. They created personas because they had made a lot of money. They connected to people that also helped them make the money, but then they had to carry those people and become where they lost their life. So again, strength doesn't come from that. Strength comes from, again, when we're balanced and we're living our own life. It's, again, we're making our own choices. We're not carrying every other single person. We're not acquiring so much things that we get underneath that. It's that, again, it's from being able to have good discernment. Only in the now do you get divine guidance through gut intuition, inner knowing, and being able to trust. I trust that you're full of shit. Why? Because I could tell my intuition told me. I could tell by the way they put the notebook down. What are you talking about? They never put it down that way. My intuition told me right then and there. I trust myself. I don't trust you. It's like I trust me. And then over time, you prove to me. And that's what the situation now that you're in, when this person comes back, the minimal is going to be like, you're going to be like, you have to prove to me because I don't trust you. And Spirit says, yeah, but understand, just the same as parents didn't show up for you. It's, again, it wasn't done because of you. It was done because of their trauma. And everybody has an opportunity to redeem themselves. And you have to learn how to forgive. That's the biggest spiritual lesson in every single religion that there is, because it's a one core thing that really, forgiveness, we're not perfect. No one's perfect. You should have shown up for me. And Spirit says, again, no, yeah, they should have, but did you show up for yourself? Trust yourself. Support comes from every single avenue. So again, and that this twin flame connection would again trigger you also, because they're not emotionally intelligent, and Spirit says, no, but you are. So again, become it, teach it. This person, again, will learn. Birds of a feather flock together. Its Spirit says they will be contributing in your life as well through, again, your spiritual blocks, because you have to learn trust. The twin flame soul journey is about that trust. I can't trust. I don't trust people because I got a million and one reasons, and spirit says it doesn't come from outside of you. It comes from inside of you. Again, and being strong, putting on your spiritual armor, because you don't know what you're dealing with on the outside world. That you get strong within yourself. And that is how you create your heaven on earth, because you're then living your bliss. You're not living from the survival perception of acquiring and thinking that the answer is outside of you. It's from becoming yourself. And that is what the soulmate twin flame journey is really about. It's not perfect. What we see here is a lot of, I don't really want to forgive. It's like, I shouldn't have to. Why does it look like this? And spirit says, oh, look at all that anger. It's like, let's look at the anger. No, let's look at what this fuckhead did. And spirit says, we already looked at that and we've obsessed about it and we've done, but it still looks the same. Let's look at your stuff. That'll help you transcend this. That'll help you integrate it so you don't have that emotional charge. And then the twin flame journey, the passion is what transmutes that energy, the fire, but then they also create. And they create through, again, ideas that they have. So again, some of you may be again creating something, and this person's coming in and helping you. So again, learning how to compromise, learning how to listen, learning how, because that was not done in your childhood. There was no support. And spirit says, and in this person's childhood, it was not. So there's, you were taught codependency. So I have to get involved. And I have to get involved because you're down there for a reason, to learn you're not separate from me, which is unconditional love, which is the universe. And spirit says you're not separate. So, but I have to give you, like, you're not going to volunteer to do this shit, because who wants to be pissed off all the time? No one. You're like, I don't want to deal with this shit. And the spirit says, yeah, but I'm going to get involved. I'm going to make them look good looking. There's going to be a connection, and there's going to be a desire. And you won't be able to control it, because God says, well, I always win anyway. So you'll fight, but eventually divine timing always wins. And you'll have to come to surrender, because everyone gets impatient. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that you resonated with this one. Let me know. And thank you for joining my winner. Hey, winner. Does anyone have any questions for me? I'm sorry, I don't read the chat when I'm channeling. I can't do two things at one time. I need to watch it from the beginning. Yes. You got to watch it from the beginning, because you will get something out of it. It's all about integration. And I think it ends well. I mean, if you want to be with this person, but you always have free will to choose. And like I said, I think that you're not really going to know until divine time, because someone may say you're going to, and then it depends on the day, because it's one of those connections that there's a real lot of love, a lot of passion, but it's like there's a lot of pain. And spirit says no one's volunteering into healing. Healing doesn't feel good, but I conspire a way to make it so that you have to. And it's like, again, remember, you don't want to handle things the same way that your ancestors did. Because when found yourself in a twin flame journey, it's really because you've inherited so much ancestral karma. It's like that. And you got to realize that people lived in wars, in slavery, in just craziness, where they were taught that there was something wrong with them. They were taught and they were conditioned, and they have habits and behaviorisms built on those experiences that we inherit. 700 generations, it says. We inherit, and we know that we inherit from our family. Sickness and disease is only 5% inherited. It's your behaviorisms and habits that actually activate your DNA. So if you have autoimmune system problems and people can't find them, when you want to look back onto your ancestral stuff to see what you might have inherited from someone, that is the underlying energy that is influencing your energy. We're not taught spiritually, but we need to, and that's why the world is imbalanced. All right, guys, thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.